question. What's his real name? Nobody knows! It's Pigpen. I was just joking with you. Hi everyone, thanks for joining us here today at the Sketch School. My name is Noel. I have been drawing my whole life. I used to work in Hollywood as an animator, and I literally got my start as a small child drawing the Charlie Brown characters. And I'm beyond excited to be here at Knott's teaching you how to draw Pigpen in this next little session. Real quick before we get started, if you need to get out of here in case of an emergency, we have two exits to the world-famous Birdcage Theater located right there in the back. Just keep in mind that this door over here on this side, that door does not go back into the park. That goes back to the trash cans by the steakhouse over there. So if you're just leaving, just head out the door that you came in. That's the way to go over there. And the other thing I wanted to mention, this is really the only thing that can go wrong when you're cartooning. Your pencil might break. I think that's why they switched over to computers. Anyway, if your pencil breaks, we have a whole table. In fact, there's all the art supplies. You need paper, you need a clipboard, you want some crayons. They're all right up there in the back on that big long table. Think of that as your cartooning salad bar. I think that's it. Are you ready to draw Pigpen? Oh my gosh, let's do this. Oh, I love this little guy. I'm gonna be honest with you people, this is my favorite character to draw here. I love drawing dust. This is a hoot. Alright, now what we're going to be doing here, gang, in the art world, technically, this is what's known as a portrait. A portrait, by definition, is a picture or a representation of a face. The first thing we need to do is put down the main basic shape of the character's head. And then once we have this shape, we're going to start adding all these little details and features to it to make it look like him. Now, what do you guys think the first shape we're going to put down for his head is? That, by the way, is one of the easiest shapes to learn how to draw. I'm going to go first. You folks follow along, and we got one rule in here. Have fun while you draw. Here we go. All right. Oh, man, I love this thing. Here we go. Oh, where am I? Whoa, look at that. Oh, my gosh. Step number 1. In the middle of your paper, lightly sketch in a circle that's about as big as an orange. I'm sure you're noticing right about now, hey, wait a minute, this pencil doesn't have an eraser. What's going on here? I know, what's up with that? Here's the thing, it's a sketch. If you look at what I'm not writing a letter O with one stroke. Instead, I'm building a circle by drawing several very light curved lines and then blending them together. This is about building. So if there's something on here you don't like, don't go, oh man, dude, I messed this up, I gotta start over. Instead, just draw right over it. If it's too lumpy, smooth it out. If it's too small, make it bigger. There are no wrong lines on a sketch. It's just a big series of corrections and improvements. Just keep going. And don't try to make it perfect. Don't stress yourself out. Just have fun with this. All right, look at this. All right, class, we have a pancake. Excellent job. Step number 2. I'm going to add some guidelines on little Pigpen. When we start putting his face on, these guidelines are going to give us a very definite place to set this stuff. The first guideline, this is the most important one to an artist. We call this the center line. From the top of the head to the bottom, we're very lightly going to divide this in half right down the center. That's the front and center of the shape. He's facing that way. If he was looking over here, I would have put that curve here. If he was looking up, I would have put that up here. I'm also going to go right to left with one more guideline. Pretty much I'm putting a big plus sign on here. This shows me the center of the shape where his nose goes. Now as a kid, these lines always bugged me. They were in every one of my how-to draw books. And I always thought to myself, these lines aren't really on the character's face. What's up with these? But they really do help an artist. Instead of one big space to put stuff, now you have 4 little ones. You have a better shot at getting things where you want them. Alright, now the first feature I like to draw on a face almost always is the nose. That's the center of a head. When you have a good lock on that, it's easier to get the rest of the features lined up in the right spot around it. Now his nose, it's just a little letter C. It sits right on top of your center. Here, think cute when you draw this little guy. Charles Schulz kind of regretted this character's fame. This character was only meant to be in one comic strip as kind of a one-time joke. There's a messy little kid called Pigpen, and he's all covered in dust. The folks really liked him, and he wasn't that Charles Schulz didn't like it. It was just hard for him to come up with a funny joke for this character every time. He's just dirty. By the way, this is totally not going to get any harder, I promise. This is the eye of the storm. Alright, now we're going to wake this dude up. We're going to put his eyes on here. This is something that's pretty much true of all the Peanuts characters. The eyes, these line up with the top of the nose on either side. Here and here. That's where they're gonna go. Now these are very slender little ovals. They're not just a dot. They're almost like a little apple or a watermelon seed. Think of it as a shape. And then once you have these on here, the way you like them, here's where I really want you to press down hard. We're sketching light. Here, make this dark. This should be the darkest, heaviest line weight on your whole sketch. That way this really stands out. Your viewer will notice this first, and they'll look your character right in the eyes. People always look into each other's eyes when they communicate with each other. We really want them to look our characters in the eyes whenever we're animating or putting them in comics. How you guys doing? Is this hard?
Yes.
Let's try this question. If you like your own drawing, give me a thumbs up right now. Oh man, look at that. It's like a 70% approval rating. Yes. Uh-oh, a thumbs down over here. But we're not done yet. It's not over. Not over yet. The wheel isn't round yet. Okay, now just above those eyes, I'm going to add his eyebrows. These are small curves. The thing is, you want these right above the eye. You can change the expression of your character tremendously by having these at a different angle. If they flatten out, he'll look kind of frumpy or bored. If you push them way up, they'll look kind of alarmed. Now for the ears, these are pretty much a letter C. These attach right on the sides of the head. I almost like to think of them on these characters like a little coffee cup handle on the side of a thumb. The top of his ear lines up perfectly with your guidelines. Take a letter C, snap that right on there. See, it's like a little handle. And I'm going to do the same over here. I'm going to make this one just a little bit smaller. See, he's looking that way. His nose is pointed that way. You're going to see just a little more of this ear than this ear. Now before we get messy, I'm going to take just a moment and I'm going to darken in the outside of the shape here. We call this locking in the shape when we're animating. Charles Schulz would go over his pencil drawings with pen and ink. And that's what you actually saw in the comic strip. The Peanuts comic strip first debuted on October 2nd in the year 1950. And it ran all the way through February 13th of the year 2000. Throughout his career, Charles Schulz hand drew and wrote 17,897 individual comics. Something he was unbelievably proud of. That's a tremendous body of work. It makes the Peanuts story one of the longest running stories ever told. Here we go. Now, for the mouth, you can customize this here. If you want it to look like Pigpen's talking, you could draw an oval. If you want to look like he's yelling at somebody, you can give him a bigger mouth. Lucy yells an awful lot. If you want him to smile, it's a letter U. But almost always, this character is just kind of standing in the background with a neutral mouth. That's the mouth I like to draw him. It's very simply just a straight line. Goes right in the middle here. That is a general Pigpen expression. I know. Frida says that he's dirty, and he says, I don't think of it as dirt. Think of it as soil from some ancient kingdom. It could have been trod upon by Solomon, Nebuchadnezzar, or even Genghis Khan. Okay, this is the most fun part. You guys ready to draw messy hair? Now I want you guys to think about your breakfast hair. Okay, when you wake up in the morning, that's kind of the way this little guy rolls all day long. I'm just going to draw a bunch of lines on here and just have fun and follow along with me. I'm going to start by drawing 4 lines. I'm going to start right above this eyebrow here and just doink. These get crazy. Just pull these off of here. You can have them kind of curl in. These do not have to be exactly the same as mine. When Charles Schulz, I watched several videos of him doing this. He just did several lines. It was different every time he did it. So I got 4 of them going that way. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I have 3 of them going this way. Start over this side. Doink. Look. Oh man, look at that. Curve it off there. Short ones long. Have fun with this. Over here on the side, I'm going to pull a long one and a short one off there. Those are, oh man, what a mess. What is happening? This is going crazy. On the side, I'm going to put a curve and then a straight over there. You can just add a few more and have fun with this. Just add more or as many as you like. Design your own messy hairstyle. Pretend you're combing your hair with a balloon. Alright, and now for the messy part. We're going to draw the dirt These are just lines on his face. Charles Schultz, when he did this, he just went over it with some lines. Here's the trick to this. You need to follow the curve of his head shape as you add them. See how we have these 4 spaces, one there, one there, one there, one there with our guidelines? I'm going to do this side first. Just looking at the curve of the circle, kind of follow these along it. There you go. You can add as many or as few of these as you like, long ones, short ones. The big thing to keep in mind, you don't want them to cover up any of his facial features. Other than that, get dirty, man, get messy, have fun with this. One of my favorite jokes in that Peanuts movie that just came out a few years ago, it was a year ago, my gosh, time flies, was I think my favorite joke in the whole thing. All the Peanuts characters at a school dance and someone sets off the fire alarm and the sprinklers come on and he gets totally clean and he just looks like another kid. And the little girl looks at him and goes, "Who are you?" Now to finish this off, I'm going to draw his collar. He has a little t-shirt and he wears these little overalls. This will make it look more like a portrait having the collar on here. Just below the nose, this is a skinny little neck. These are 2 straight lines here. All these Peanuts characters have a very thin neck. Charles Schultz always put a little bit of a shadow. He's thinking of a little line right there. He did that on all of them. And the collar is just a curve. It's a little t-shirt he wears. A really dirty one. In his overalls, these are like 2 little brackets right here. This little dude is so messy. Man. Okay, this is the finale. Hope none of you are allergic, because we're going to draw a whole lot of dust. Ask me how much dust we're going to draw. A lot of dust. Oh my gosh, okay. These are some big curves right here at the bottom. There's the ones on the ground around them. These just kind of bunch up. And you can draw little poofs of dust. These look like little popcorns. Just make these up, little curve. You can put as many or as few as you like around this little dude. We can add a few little dots. You can actually meet Pigpen here at Knott's Berry Farm for the first time ever. He's over in the barn, right in the middle of Calico, and they even have baby pigs in there. They are adorable. Well, the last step is to sign your name. Right at the bottom of your artwork. I'm going to write Noel on there, because, well, that's my name. You did it! You drew Pigpen. Did you guys have fun? Oh, man. This is the best part of the art. We're going to have an art show. I'm going to count to 3. Here's what I want you to do. I'm going to hold your drawings up. And here's what I really want you to do. I want you to look around and see how different these are. No 2 people draw the same. That is the best thing about every art class I've ever been in. I've been in a lot of them. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, Pigpen! You keep on theme music. Look at that. It's amazing. Oh my gosh. Look at Sarah Pickles. That is an excellent Pigpen. A lot of dust. Oh, we're dancing over here. Look at this. Excellent. The annual pass holder section holding it very strongly. Excellent job, my dear. Former student. Looking good in the back. Everybody's dancing here. Look at this. That's a messy Pigpen. Good job in the good seats you got. That's a nice circle. Looking good over here. Excellent. Oh my gosh, ladies, I love them. Give everyone around you a big round of applause. Thank you so much. Well, the fun isn't over in here. No way. Because in just about 15 minutes or so, we're going to be showing a classic Peanuts holiday special on this big screen. You can stick around for that. If you don't want to, you're more than welcome to just head on out. Please, please, please leave the clipboards and the pencils right on the seats so we can get ready